Okay, we're back. So, on our last episode, we got into room 3 out of the 10-room dungeon, and what we're discovering about this temple, essentially, or this infinite burrows, is that it kind of goes from like built area. We went this way, triggered the trap, and then it dropped down to this kind of cave-ish area, right? This is the last of the paving. It drops down just a tad, and this is almost like a little underground stream that flows. So we had one exit that goes to the next room. We had rolled for another room, and that room number 3 is another kind of cavern that drops down, and this little trickling stream we decided is continuing on. And we rolled about 6 entries and stuff for this room. I think I got 6 if you count this one, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what we're discovering is that we're going deeper and it's branching out. So we're deciding this is the infinite burrows is really just access to the underdark. So we kind of solved that mystery, and if our characters Golly and Summer, maybe they can take this information to the city of Greyfast, and maybe that'll be useful for people there, right? Because we had a little gnomish archaeology camp here that we're trying to get into here, but they kept getting kind of attacked and massacred. I think they had a bigger group and there was just 5 left. I think a lot of them died within these caverns. So if we can survive exploring, we need to explore 10 rooms before it's classified as, we cleared level 1. But in all reality, it just keeps going on and on into the Underdark, and that's the mystery of the infinite burrows. We discovered why it's called that, even though it was a random generated name, right? But anyway, going forward, what we found in this room was an encounter. Technically, it might be like a combat, but we rolled for a boggle and a deep rothe, or rothe, however you say it. It's kind of like an underground cow thing. So we discovered those 2 things, and those were supposed to be our big bad evil guy we rolled. But it sets up like an interesting little scenario. So I'll just show you guys right now. Looking at that deep rothe here, he's a medium beast and he's unaligned. And then if you look at the boggle, chaotic neutral. So both kind of like unaligned to a degree. So this might not necessarily be a combat. We did roll that the little cowboy, the rothe. I don't know how you say it. Somebody enlighten me in the comments so I can pronounce it right. I kind of go back and forth all the time. But we decided that, we rolled that this character triggered trap, the trap that was in the previous room, which was a magic missile trap. So he's injured. He had 4 points of damage. Maybe that, it's like the boggles. He owns it. It's cattle, right? But I looked into the information of the boggle, and they're kind of like tricksters and stuff like that. So maybe this boggle character is just like it stole that rothe from deeper within the Underdark, and it's kind of like leading it away or something like that. Maybe that's what's going on. But regardless, we might not have to have a battle here. So what I'm going to do, because they're both unaligned, they're not evil characters, they're not going to be attacking us right off the hop unless I roll for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll for these 2 characters to see what their disposition is to us. So I have this little sheet up here, my little cheat sheet. I don't know if you can see it, but I have a D100 roll to decide what these characters will be, right? They can be anywhere from violently hostile to enthusiastically friendly, and it was on this roll that we were able to gain our 2 stirge friends, Moss and Kito. So we'll see what these guys are. Maybe we don't even have to battle them. So on a roll of a D100, let's find out what they are. On a 69, we have, so 56 to 75 is uncertain, but 55% to positive. So these guys might not want to fight us, right? Maybe they'll be open to negotiation. So I'm just going to write down on these guys 55% to positive. Now that's one side of this scenario. The other side is those 2 stirges we have, right? Our little buddies here, Moss and Kito. They've kind of been MVPs for us for our battles. They go and take care of things in tandem. We rolled at enthusiastically friendly, and then we had passed an animal handling check by Golly, and that's why these guys are kind of following us around. So, but because they're not under a spell or anything like that, they have their own autonomy. Now we're going to see, they're not going to harm us. They're our friends, but we're going to see what their disposition is towards our two new characters in here, right? They have their own minds. Maybe they're going to decide they want to attack them. And we're going to find out just what's going on here, just to see how this shakes out. So on a 40, 26 to 45, uncertain, but 55% towards negative. So they are slightly leaning towards that these guys might be food, right? So at any kind of, thing that goes awry, I think they're just going to go and attack these two characters. So 55% towards negative, right? They are big mosquitoes. They are trying to eat some blood and stuff like that. So we might have to keep a wrangle on our stirges here. We might have to have Golly do another animal handling check to make sure he can handle them if things start going south. Now, with that being known, let's go back to our little area here. We are within the cavern. Now that we know the disposition, this might not be a battle, right? They might be open to some negotiation. It's not gonna be violently hostile right off the hop, but let's do a perception check on Golly and Summer here. Let's see what the perception would that be, to see if they notice that deep rothe is injured. Ooh, rolled off camera, but it's a 5. So an 8. I'm going to say Golly does not notice that rothe is injured. And let's see what Summer rolled. A 9. She's also got a 3, so that'll be a 12. Depending on what we decide passes. If it's a 10 is our DC, then she would notice it's injured, but for the sake of it, we're gonna say they both don't notice, right? Now, do they want to go down and investigate this, right? They're up above here. They're on top of the ledge here, looking down. Do they want to go down and help, I guess? Let's see, does Summer want to go down and help? On a 13, she's leaning towards it. What about Golly? Golly, yeah, he definitely wants to go and help on a 19 roll. He is chaotic good. He is our dwarven cleric, so he wants to go help out. Now, in order to get down there, it is like a bit of a ledge drop. They're going to have to utilize their rope to kind of climb down there. There's no easy, or maybe we do a survival check. We do this survival check to see if they can find a way down, maybe. Well, what else do we have at our... They could do an investigation check, right? Investigate the area. Is there something solid they can climb down, or... Let's see. On a 14... Potentially. Let's say they find like a root or something they can tie their rope to. And we're going to utilize the rope now within the rule book, right? I think Summer owns a rope. So then they'll be able to climb down. Yes, we do have one rope in tow. So Summer might potentially climb down this sucker and help out. Or it'll give them a way to get up and down. If each one of them can kind of pass athletic checks and stuff like that. So let's see. I need to go to R. Oh, I passed it for the rope, I believe. No, that would be within the items list. Give me a second. You know what? As I was looking through that rope rule again, I forgot we had tied up our evil map maker with the rope. We actually don't have a rope on hand. It's our fella back at the cave entrance there. He's tied up in it, so we can't use the rope to climb down. And I'm just going to erase this so I don't make this mistake again. We do not have a rope on hand. So maybe let's see if Summer can do some feats of athletics. Maybe she can clamber down the cave wall entrance in some way, right? That roll we did before might have been high enough for her to find something. So I'm gonna say this might be like a acrobatics check, right? It's kind of, what would you say? Is it a strength check or acrobatics to be able to climb down and climb down a wall that might be wet, right? Because the stream's trickling. I would say that might be a little bit more of a dexterous endeavor. So Summer tries to climb down, or we're going to say, sorry, a DC of 15. So on a 3 plus that 2, Summer is able to climb down this thing and administer some aid to the that cattle fella. Now, looking, oh boy, Golly's going to need a hell of a roll to get back up. Does he chance it? Like, he does want to go and help, right? How about he's gonna hang up top here for right now, because he's got he's maybe he's watching the stirges, but him and Summer kind of come to an agreement. Like, Summer, go check it out, see if they need help and stuff like that. And if things go south, he's got range on a healing spell anyway, or his spells, so he's got some ranged spells he can utilize. So let's have Summer come on down and investigate that deep rothe character. Now, they are 55% prone towards the positive. So we're gonna make this kind of, let's have her go and have a look at that rothe character and see, like, does she notice now? Does she notice if it's injured, right? On a 6 plus her investigate, we're going to say, like, no, she's still blind to the fact that it's injured. So she's just going to ask these guys, like, hey, what's going on? Are you needing help? Stuff like that. On a -1 to, like, maybe persuasion, she offers to help, but it's going to be a -1 to the roll. On a 13, it'd be a 12 to persuasion. Because they are like 55% towards the positive, they are a little bit more willing. So we're going to say our DC to make these passes a bit easier, right? Might be 10 or something like that. So they are open to help. And let's have her maybe try her hand at like a medicine check. Like, maybe she can administer some first aid to this character here, that little cow character, and maybe she can help him out, and then that would maybe heal it, and they'll be more warm to us and let us pass. Maybe we'll see that. In the meantime, let's just, our stirges, let's say we have to roll a 1 in 6. Do they suddenly change their mind and, like, decide to go and eat this cow, right? They're like, oh, we're out for blood here, and we sense a little bit of blood from this creature. They are 55% towards the negative. Let's roll on a 1 in 6 and see if they just don't listen to our commands and they go down and try to eat this thing. Oh, fuck. Okay. So Moss and Kito, they're not having it. They decide to go down. And, they sense blood in that little cow character. Let's place them really quick. What we could do is, we can, let's say this is that cow character. This is the boggle. Summer's kind of down here now. She's trying to administer some aid. And Moss and Kito, they're up here, behind Golly. Maybe Golly's, like, just on the verge of getting down there. And Moss and Kito are behind. But they want to go and eat this thing now. What do we say? Should it just happen and it's battle time, or should Golly get a chance to try pass an animal handling check? He's got a high check to see if he can wrangle them in. Otherwise, it's just right to battle, right? What do you think? I'd hate to roll it and like miss out on a combat, right? That's some experience points. Me as metagaming. Moss and Kito should do some pretty heavy damage. Let's have Golly make a last effort shot. Maybe. On a 10, I'm going to say that it's like he's going to need they're 55% towards the negative too. So like you're going to need a higher roll than a 10. You would need at least a 15. And he rolled, with that 3, it's a 13. It's not going to be enough to wrangle in Moss and Kito. It's going to be a battle. Moss and Kito are they're hungry little stirges. They have minds of their own. They're like, hey, we're not going to harm you, Golly and Summer. You're our friends. But guess what? We're out for blood here. So let's get to initiative, I guess. They're entering combat. They're going to fly on down. Let's see what the initiative looks like for everybody. Okay, here we go. On a dex of +4, that would also go towards their initiative, I believe, the boggle. So we're going to find out that boggle. He rolls a 10 + 4, so he's got a 14 to his initiative. The rothe has a 0 dex. I'll just show you guys really quick. So you can believe me, a 0 dex. So he's got 0 to his initiative, rolls a 7. Moss and Kito will check next. They are our stirges. I believe I've had to roll for them a couple times. I believe they have a +3 in the monster manual here, which I need to get prepped up beside me if they are going to be entering combat. And we're going to flip a few pages here. I believe I have the marks still. Here we go. So Moss and Kito, initiative a +3. I usually have them roll in tandem. So 4, they go with 4, 5, 6, 7. They each have 7. So they're gonna have to have a little roll off. Let's get everybody on the board here first. So Summer, Golly. Here we go. So Summer's gonna have a roll. She rolls a 9. She's got +2 to the dex. So she's got an 11. Golly's got a -1 for his initiative. He just always goes last. Okay, let's have a little roll off here between our other guys. So that he rolls a 2. So, and then between our stirge buddies here, it's a 13. So they rolled a 13 on their second roll. So the order of operations here is going to be the boggle. He's going first. And then it's going to be our Moss and Kito. Then it's going to be that deep rothe. And then it's going to be, no, sorry, I missed. It's going to be Summer before Moss and Kito. The boggle, let's squeeze Summer in there. Moss and Kito, that deep rothe, and then it's going to be Golly. So I'm going to craft up a little bit of a better layout for our battle, and then we'll go forward from there. Now, just reading about this boggle here, he's got all kinds of stuff, all kinds of skills, right? He's got the boggle oil. He excretes non-flammable oil from its pores. The boggle chooses whether the oil is slippery or sticky and can change the oil on its skin from one consistency to another as a bonus action. Slippery oil. While coated in slippery oil, the boggle gains advantage on dexterity checks made to escape bonds, squeeze through narrow spaces, and end grapples. Now, this thing here, it says the dimensional rift as a bonus action. The boggle can create an invisible and immobile rift within an opening or frame it can see within 5 feet of it, provided that the space is no bigger than 10 feet on any side. The dimensional rift bridges the distance between that space and any point within 30 feet of it that the boggle can see or specify by distance and direction, such as 30 feet straight up. While next to the rift, the boggle can see through it and is considered to be next to the destination as well. And anything the boggle puts through the rift, including a portion of its body, emerges at the destination. Only the boggle can use the rift, and it lasts until the end of the boggle's next turn. So, all that being said, I just think this guy's going to flee. He's going to run. He's a little trickster guy, right? He's not made for battle. I think he's just gonna flee. He's got all kinds of, he's got 2 areas back here he can escape, right? Imagine this the boggle. And he can just take off here. He can use that rift. I don't think it's, our guys are just gonna catch him at all. He's got a movement speed of 30 feet, it says. He can climb 50 feet. It says he can cling the walls. He just passes those dexterity checks, no problem. I'm saying this boggle's just out of dodge, right? He's got first move. He's out for himself. I think he captured this little deep rothe from somebody deep within the underdark. But now the jig is up for him because he notices our stirges are like, they're getting aggressive. They're coming down and he's not having it. He's smart. He's cunning. Out of dodge. He escapes. He's out of the battle. We don't get anything from him. He doesn't get anything from us. Now that's the boggle. He escapes. His check's done and he's out of the battle. Summer is going to say, no one's harmed her yet. All that's left is like Moss and Kito, and they're hell-bent on getting to this. They smell blood from this creature hurt by a trap already. Let's have her try to wrangle one of them, but because they're in a combat scenario, she can only wrangle one. She can only do an animal check on one, and we're gonna see what happens, right? Let's say she tries to get Kito or Moss first. He's first in the line there. Let's have her do an animal handling check. Let's see if she can kind of call off Moss at least. With a 15, sorry, I should have said we're going to do a 15 DC. So she rolls a 15 plus the 1. She's able to kind of call Moss off. Like, she don't have no spells or nothing, but for the sake of it, for this, you know, let's bend the rules a little bit. Let's bend reality and say, like, you know, they've been buddies now for an episode or 2. She calls off Moss, and Moss is gonna, it's the end of her turn. We'll say she just does that. She just tries to get Moss off the scent here, and he's gonna fly on down to her and say, okay, you called me. What did you call me for, right? Kito, on the other hand, now he's got some autonomy. He's off to the side, and they got a fly speed of 40, so he can make it, right? That 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, whatever it is, boom. He's gonna latch on to that deep rothe. And let's have a look at his attack now. And we're gonna see that's probably gonna piss off the rothe or make it fight out of panic, right? So here we go. On a 19, that stirge uses his main attack here. He gets a +5 to hit. That's just going to hit the armor class of 10 on the rothe. Sorry if I'm bugging you guys, that's how I say that. And the 1d6 +3 piercing damage. So we got a 3 +3 does 6 points of damage. Now this character have 4, so he was down to 9 hit points already from that trap being sprung, right? It did 4 points of damage, and now an extra 6 points of damage. So he's down to 9 hit points -6. He's down to 3 points of damage. He's got 3 hit points. 3 hit points left, I'm gonna write, and that's the end of Moss and Kito. Now that stirge is latched on, right? It's stuck on him. It's trying to suck its blood. But that being said, it's now that little rothe's turn. Oops, drop my dice here. It's turn here, and it's a little upset that this sucker's still stuck on. So what's the rule on this? The stirge can detach itself. Wait, attaches to the target. While attached, the stirge can't make the proboscis attacks. It can't make, but the target takes 2d4 necrotic damage at the start of each of the stirge's turn. Okay. Does that count as grappled? I don't know. Right? I guess in its rulebook, it doesn't say that the character has a grappled condition. It just says it's on it. So we're going to say that this rothe can attack the stirge. You know, it's on him, and it's saying, hey, get the hell off me. I don't like that. And maybe it does. What kind of attack can it do? Dancing lights at will. Let's see. Gore. It's going to attempt to gore Kito. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And how much damage can it do? 1d6 plus 4 piercing damage. We might lose Kito here. Oh boy. On an 18 plus... Yeah, it's just going to hit plus 6. We only have an armor class of 13. We got to hope it's low damage. 1d6 plus 4. No, it's just going to do it. If we roll a 1, you know, plus 4, it's still, yeah, max damage. So I don't even think we could heal this. You know, it's going to be 6 plus 4. It's going to be 10 damage. And then, you know, the rule is we only got 5 hit points and we've done double damage. So it's just kills it outright. We don't even get a chance for, like, if we were to allow death saving throws to these characters. So it does a gore attack. It kills, it killed Kito. We lost Kito, gang. Rest in peace, Kito. Okay, boom. Now, okay, Golly, what are you gonna do? You're one of your buddies, like, but he's up on the ledge here. He can't do a whole lot. It might be, does he, like, he can't do a spell either. He's not a druid. Does he just hang back? Do we let him stay up here and let's have him try call Moss back. Moss is going to be, you know, his buddy's dead. He's going to freaking go for him now, probably. Let's have him try animal handling, call Moss back. Whoops, got my things all messed up here. On a 9, we need a 15, we were saying, right? So on a 9 plus Golly's animal handling, I believe, is a 3. It's not enough. He's not able to call back Moss. And I don't want him going down, because he's got bad dexterity. He's not going to be good climbing down into this cavern. He might fall down and take some damage. So I'm just going to end it there. He's going to hang back and watch this stuff unfold. That's his move. So now it's right back up. The boggle's gone. He's fled. Summer, what are you going to do, Summer? It's best. Do we kill this thing? Do we get rid of it? Before, you know, we got to try keep our buddy happy here. We might have to do a little morale check on this guy to see, is he happy now? Like, his buddy just died. Is he going to want to take off and leave us alone after this is all done? So on an 11 with a +5 on the great axe, we're going to roll that D12. She rolls an 11. We're going to slay that cow, put it out of its misery. And that might be the end of the battle, but let's decide maybe what... We just lost a party member, right? We got Moss here, who's... is he upset with how things shook? Should we do another little morale check to see if this is a significant event for this? Does he change now? Does he become hostile to anything? On a 64... we drew uncertain 55% towards positive. So he's still friendly towards us. And so we're not going to say he suddenly turns on us. He's still going to be in our party. He's going to be following us around. We weren't able to call them off from attacking this guy. But in the process, Kito got stomped out by that little cow fella. Rest in peace. You helped us out for a little while there, Kito. We're down a party member, and we're going to give ourselves the experience from this. We're going to give ourselves 25 experience points each, and that's about it, right? They don't, like, I don't see this friggin' little underground cow having gold and stuff on him, so that's all we got out of this scenario. We lost a party member. Was it worth it? I don't know. And it's only going to continue to go into the Underdark. So I'm thinking we just say... Golly's saying, hey, let's get the heck out of here. We know this is going to keep going on and on. Let's go back up to where that, you know, it's a little bit more built so we can investigate these other 2 rooms to see what those look like. What's up in the rooms, right? And that's going to be the end of this. I guess we gotta, this stirge will be able to follow us up if we can get Summer back up the way here. And she's going to have to pass maybe another dexterity check to climb back up. Or would you consider that a strength now? Is it easier to climb up or easier to climb down? So we could really cheat the system and say on a +5 she makes it, right? Let's say, oh, wait. There's our matter of timekeeping. Where did I put my timekeeping page here? Give me a second. Okay, so because this was our third room, and our rule for timekeeping in the dungeon was that every time we encounter a room, we discover that it's, we burn up 10 minutes of time. Now, we know this is all underdark. What I would have to do is there's a 50% chance that these are doors, and I'd have to roll on them to see if all these entrances and exits are actually doors. But because we're deciding, hey, this is going to the underdark, we're leaving that area. We're not going to bother with that, but we are going to say this is the third room we have rolled. That's 10 minutes. And we decided every 30 minutes we have a wandering monster check with a d6. So, oh shit. Okay, well, we are in the Underdark. A monster wanders in. Let's look at our encounters now. So for this, we did say, right, wandering monster. So it is going to be a monster. I was thinking about rolling on just on the encounter table, but we kind of got away from this a little bit from that boggle. We were giving ourselves the grace of not having a battle, but it ended up being a battle. Let's just say this is going to be a monster roll. On a 1 to 2, it's going to be an easy encounter. On a 3 to 4, it's going to be a medium. And on a 5 to 6, it's going to be a hard encounter. So here we go. We have a hard encounter. Another hard encounter. So this is where we're going to go to the tables here. And we're going to find out what kind of a hard encounter we have. So solo monster encounters. Let's go to the encounters calculator. We're level 1 to 2. So we got a hard encounter. We have 2 PCs at level 1 for the hard. So to use, we're going to need to go on the 1 PC level 2 hard. So we got level 2 solo PC. On the hard encounter, we roll the d6 again. It's going to be a 2. On a 1 to 2, we have 1/1/2 monster. So 1/1/2 monster. We're going to come down to the, hopefully this is zooming in. Sorry, it's left it blurry there. Let's see, solo. We're going to the Underdark dungeon. We have a half monster, which is, up here. Let's roll on the d20. On a 5, we have a gas spore. There's a gas spore down here. Let's see what that looks like. Page 138 of the monster manual here. What does the gas spore do? I don't think this is up to date with the 5.5. I'm always slightly off, but we'll be able to look this up. Here we go, gas spore, fungus, that's the guy. Ooh, these things are sketchy. Fungi, gas spore, yeah, that's him, all right. Initiative of -5. So, it might be one of these things, right? Where is it at? Maybe we woke up this little gas spore. How many do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of significant areas. Unless we count, like, what are these squares? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Potentially 7? Let's just discount this and let's roll on the d6 with 1 being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or 5 right here. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know. Let's see. On a 5, I will say he's going to be closer to us. This gas spore is like right there. Let's throw down a little. Here's our gas spore character guy. He's right near us. Okay, so I guess we weren't quite done. Where was Summer again? I think she was kind of here, right? Kito was here, or was everything like a step over? I can't remember where everybody was now. The boggle was here. Summer was here. Yeah, and then Golly, he's still up here. He's still hiding. And then, oh no, he's dead. Sorry. Moss is still over here in that little deep rothe character. I believe this was the layout we kind of had. And now imagine our gas spore. We woke it up in that little kerfuffle that was going on. And now it wants in. So we got, the combat is not done. Okay, new scenario, new things to figure out, right? Now this gas spore, they're like little floating orbital fungi. Yeah, they're kind of alive, I guess. But this gas spore fungus, it says it's got a death burst when it dies at each creature within a 20-foot emanation originating from the gas spore. So that's what these guys are, right? Originating, so 20 foot. So what would that be? 5, 10, 15, 20. Kind of within this area. That's everybody. They would need to get to this pool, get the hell out of the way of this thing when it dies. So that might be like trying to suck on back and make a ranged attack at it. I did roll initiatives. The spore has a very poor initiative at a -5, so it's going to go last according to my rolls, right? So Summer's got first, Golly's next, Kito's next, and the spore goes last. Now, I'm very nervous we're going to lose Kito in this. Summer, like, she's got to do the killing, potentially, or she can try to suck back, call Kito out of the range, and then Golly would have to try to make a shot at this character, right? Well, I guess Kito can't move until his round. It's his turn, right? Summer can come here, call to him, and then if we'd passed, he would move on his turn. But if Golly takes the shot at that spore, then it's kind of over for us, because this spore can fly 10 feet. It's just which will put us in range if it comes 10 feet closer. We're still in range of its death burst. So either way, you know, we might lose Kito now. This might be the end of our Kito party here. Dang. How do we want to play this out, right? Like, this is a little bit of puzzle solving here. First off, let's see, does Summer know about this fungi, what it's capable of? Does it know about its death burst, first off, right? So what would that be, do you guys think? Would that be a history check in terms of knowing, or like an insight? Investigation, a nature check maybe. This thing is like a gas spore found in nature. Maybe we do nature checks on these things. Does Summer know to flee from it? So we're going to say, what would be the DC to pass on that? Should we do a 10 or a 15? Let's say, well, let's do a 15. That's a bad roll. She might not know. Well, it didn't even matter even if it was a 10. She doesn't know that these things have the death burst, right? So she might just go and attack that thing. Okay. Let's see how it pans out. She don't know they do that. She just sees it's a threat. Oh boy. So she's going to move on in. And she's going to take a shot at it. 1 of 15. Plus her 5 to hit. With the great axe, right? She just cleaved this cow, and she's going to cleave this thing. We got a D... What do we got? A 3, but we have Savage Attacker. Ooh, where did that roll? What am I grabbing? So a 3 or a 5, we take the 5. 5 plus her plus 3 is 8. So this does 8 points of damage to the 13. So let's write this down here. I think it has 5 points of damage left. So it's got 5 HP left. And that's Summer's attack. Does she have any kind of bonus action? She doesn't feel like she has to rage, I don't think. She used her hit die, or did she? When did they take a short rest? Someone took a short rest. I can't remember. I want to say maybe Summer took her short rest. I did a bad job tracking that before. Okay, but there's Summer's move. Next up, here we go. It's going to be Golly. Should Golly try to call? No, it don't matter. What's Golly's range? He's kind of up on this ledge here. So this would be what, maybe 5, 10. How do you guys count diagonals? 15, 20, 25, 30. Roughly 35 is the range. Does he have a spell? An attack spell that goes far? Well, let's first find out if he knows about this thing's death spurt, because maybe he can cast a spell to halt it and they get the hell out of dodge, right? So on a 12, what did we say our thing was? 15? Yeah, he's not going to know it either. His investigate or his history or nature check isn't that great. So he's not going to know what that thing does anyway. He's just going to try attack it, I guess. Let's see what kind of spells we've got. Sacred Flame. Going to cast a cantrip here. Yeah, let's have a look at our spells. Okay, so we're going to do Sacred Flame. It's got a range of 30 feet. Just need our voice and semantic. He can cast this sucker. Yes, because we do have like a holy symbol. He's got his lantern in hand. Ooh, that's something we didn't take into account. Ooh, that affected everything now. I completely forgot that Golly was holding the light. And Summer is okay. She would have, what would this be, 5, 10, 15? And then an additional dim light for what, 5, 10, 15-ish? She's kind of in the dim light. She would need disadvantage on her attack, right? Well, okay. So let's just say this would have been her, if we had to roll twice to see if she hit. She would have took the smaller roll, which is what we rolled before. This was higher. Okay, that didn't fuck with our stuff too much, but maybe in the other combat we screwed up that other combat because we forgot about the light. She might have not have hit that cow fella to begin with. We screwed up a lot of that. I keep forgetting it's dark in here, but live and learn. We lost a party member anyway from the previous one, so we're gonna go with that. Golly, what's the rule on this? He can't see, maybe. His light only comes to here. So that's going to be... He can't see. Oh boy. Should he come down? Or should he wait? Let's just change our whole strategy here. Because he can't see, and like, does he want to climb down and try to help out here? Or does he hang back? He might have to try to do a little bit of cleanup committee. We're going to say he hangs back, and instead he's going to try and... boy. This is where problem solving comes into play. I'm kind of metagaming somewhat, but also trying to decide, what does he do? Let's find out on a... let's just do evens and odds, I guess. Evens, he's going to try to come down there and make an attack. Nope, on odds he doesn't. So he's going to hang back. But he's out of range of his light. His lamp, I think, only goes So he's here, right? He's up on the ledge. It only goes like 5, 10, 15. Then he gets dim light for 5, 10, 15. I think that guy would be out of range. He might not see this spore. He just hears Summer going after it. He's just going to hang out. He's going to wait. That's all he's going to do. He doesn't know what's going on. He can't see this. He's got that 60-foot range, but it would be in darkness, so he can't see nothing, right? He would just miss that attack. He's going to wait. He's like, hey, what's going on down there? What are you guys, what are you fighting? And now, let's bring it on back to Kito. Or, yeah, who died? Kito's still alive. We still have Kito, I think. No, Moss. Moss still alive, I think. I think I just grabbed the wrong thing. And let's see what our guy does. Here we go now. Our stirge buddy, I just had to look up a few things. He's got the dark vision of 60 feet. Even though he's out of the range of the light here, he's got dark vision. So I believe that range came just to here, right? Because we allowed Summer to get that shot off with disadvantage. But because he's got dark vision, he can come on down to here even, latch on, and he would see as if it's full light. So we don't have to do a disadvantage on his attack as he attacks this little sucker here, the old gas spore. So we're gonna roll for his attack. He gets +5 to the attack. Boom, on a 15, +5 is 20. That's gonna hit. Does 1d6 +3 piercing damage. Ooh, that rolled off camera. Does the max damage, right? 6 +3. So a 9 points of damage. That takes that spore down to 0. Now, here's where things get dicey. Let's bring it on back to the gas spore. Oh, I completely lost my page. Give me a second, gang. Deal with me. We're juggling a lot here. Okay, so we took him down. We did more than 13 points of damage. Now his death burst kicks into play. The gas spore bursts when it dies, so our good old stirge buddy there went and attacked it, killed it. We got to make Constitution saving rolls for Summer and for the stirge on a DC of 10. Constitution saving roll. Here we go. Here's Summer's 17. She survives the death burst. Here's our stirge buddy. Okay, 6. Give me a second. Give me a second. Please have a high Constitution score here. And Constitution is 0. Oh boy. Okay, so he suffers this. Okay, each creature within a 20-foot emanation originating from the gas spore. On a failure, the target takes 3d6 poison damage. So 3d6 is 3, 6, 7 points of damage. This stirge is dead. He only has 5 hit points. And has the poison conditioned for 1d12 hours. So it's dead. Would you give it a poison condition? Yeah, I think we got to roll to see how long. Oh, wait. The target dies at the end of that time. Sprouts 2d4 tiny gas spore fungi. So and he's going to die from it. And potentially, get infected with these gas spores from his body. And it's going to spread out in 2 hours. More gas spores are going to kick out of here. 2d4 is going to be a 3. Oof. And a 2. So 5 extra gas spores, tiny little gas spores, are going to sprout out here. And that's maybe what's going on here. I did not account for that when I was drawing this, but it's funny how these dice roll worked out, where it's like, that's what it's looking like. These gas spores are coming out. So it's going to be very dangerous exploring this area. It's not worth it to keep going through. And it might not even be worth it to keep coming back. This little gas spore field is very dangerous. Sorry, on a failure, is there anything for a success? No. Okay, so on a, yeah, we just lost our buddy. We lost our stirges. Rest in peace, Moss and Kito. We hardly knew ye. This gas spore is down. It's dead. And now we have, what did we say, 5 extra gas spores that are sprouting. After 2d6 days, they become large. So they become full on. So in 5 days, if we come back to this area, there's going to be 5 more of these gas spores to attack. So you guys just remember this. If we ever, in the future, we're like, hey, let's go check out the infinite burrows. And we come this way, maybe just like, we'll have to give me a reminder or something. I'll have to write that in here on the page, right? I'll write it right now, actually, yeah. There will be 5 gas spore fungus in, what would you say, 5 days? So in just about a week's time. This place is very dangerous. I don't think we want to come back here unless you want to like come up here and just snipe them to kind of farm XP, right? We could come and farm some XP pretty easy in this dungeon. Get a quick 5, shoot at him and get the hell out of Dodge, run away. But in the process, we could potentially be really flooding this place and we'll never be able to get into the Underdark. Yeah, so from there, the battle's done, but we have 2 hours, I think we said it was, right? Because we have 2 hours to get the hell out of this area. And that's what Summer's going to do. She's going to, we're going to flee out of here. And let's have her make every time she fails a dexterity check to climb out of here, we'll burn 10 minutes. How about that? So on a 3, we burn 10 minutes. On a 13 plus, what was her dexterity? Her acrobatics is 2. Okay, we were saying the 15 was the DC check. So on this one, she makes this. We burn another 10 minutes trying to climb back out of here. And maybe Summer has a few words to say about Golly. Why the heck did you hang back here? Why did you send us down here? All this kind of stuff. We lost. Well, maybe she wasn't too attached to these guys to begin with. But regardless, we lost our buddies. Goodbye. We gain 100 XP, though, from this gas spore fungus. And we'll split that between Golly and Summer. And they're going to backtrack out of here. We don't want to keep going into the Underdark. And we're going to backtrack all the way out of this room back into our main area that we came in. So we kind of know what's going off into this way. Now we have these 2 other doors to explore. So I'm going to end this video here for today. That was kind of just a lot of combat, a lot of bad scenarios, trying to puzzle solve some stuff out of this, which we got nothing out of this. We got no treasure. Even the fungi, right? They don't carry any treasure. All we got was some experience, and we lost 2 party members that would have came in handy, maybe in these further doors. But the Underdark is a dangerous place. Let me know in the comments, if you've made it this far, which door we should go to next. This one is potentially trapped. We got to roll for what this door is. This is an open entrance, so we can just flow on through here, no issues. This, we could be triggering a trap and getting into some issues. I'm going to come on down and write down my timekeeping. We burned another 10 minutes. Oh, I got to track every 200 feet of movement when we backtrack is also a minute. So Summer was kind of here. We went, what, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. And then let's say they go 65, 70, 75, 80. We'll say they went 80 feet to come all the way back to here. And yeah, we'll see what I'll tally up how much time we have left on the lamp and stuff. But yeah, let me know. Which door do you guys want to go through? Potentially a trap door, wide open space. Thank you.